I think words are very powerful. So, just speaking life into things. My mom always says, speak things into existence. So, if you speak positive, positive's going to happen. You speak negative, negative can happen.
Welcome to another episode of the Traumaless podcast. I'm your host, JR.
And it's your co-host Patrick.
Today we have another special guest with us. We're going to allow him to introduce himself. And after we're going to get into a mental tapping where we give a rating on a scale of 1 to 10. And so therefore, we're going to let our guests go ahead and talk about themselves, give your name, your occupation, and where they can find you at on social media.
What's up, y'all? Name's Imani Starling. Currently working with SAIC as a private contractor as a remote pilot operator. And you can find me on Instagram at I_Starling. That's I_STARLING 5.
Okay. All right, so let's get into a mental tapping. We'll give a rating on a scale of 1 to 10. So let's start with switch it up today. Let's start with our guest. How you feeling today? Give us a rating on a scale of 1 to 10.
No, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm at an 8 right now.
An
I'm at
8.
8. A little tired. Had a good day. Had a good lunch. So I'm a little sleepy from that, but you know,
Okay,
good day.
that's good. That's good to hear. Pat, how you feeling today? Give us a rating.
I say about the same, about an 8. It's been a good day. Just need to get some food in my system.
Man's hungry. Now
You
you get a
know,
little cranky when you're hungry, huh?
some the part of fasting. Daily fast.
Somebody get this man some Snickers. Not yourself when you're hungry. Let's see. Well,
What about you?
for me, I'm at a 10. Like, I just got a lot of energy. Like, I stay with energy all day, every day. So I wish I could be able to give it to y'all, but I can't, unfortunately.
Say you showing out 32 of them today. Like you,
That
If I
boy
had a
got him
grid,
some last night.
shit,
yeah,
I wish.
something.
Nah, what they say on ATL? That man got some cutty last night. Yeah, but go ahead and get to the first question, Pat.
What
Let's
we
get to
talking?
it.
You talking about getting the first question? What we bring him on for? Like,
Hey, I
we
want you to
we
ask the
bought we
first
bought our
question.
guest on. Let me take over. We bought our
Okay.
guest on Imani on because he used to play pro overseas, and so we wanted to bring him on and just really talk about his experience. Have him just talk about what that was like. Yeah, just really share his experience with being overseas. So let's get started with telling kind of people your how your background, kind of like how you even got into playing pro basketball, how you wound up overseas, and just kind of like what that journey was like for you.
Yeah, for sure. So I ended up playing 2 years. My third year, I was signed to play or supposed to play in Thailand. But just rewinding back on my journey to get to that point. Out of high school, I went to an NAIA in St. Louis, Lindenwood University, and
What's that?
NAIA is kind of like, so you know how you have the NCAA,
Right,
you got
right,
like your
right,
Division 1, 2, and 3. NAIA is kind of like in between that and JUCO, so it's like
right.
another level. But played there my freshman year. Um, had a pretty good year. Uh, Wanted to move back home, closer to home, be around my family, and kind of just leave the situation I was in. It wasn't a good situation, as far as coaching staff and just the program itself. So then I went to a Division 2, in Nashville, Tennessee, called Trevecca Nazarene University, and that's where I finished out my college career. As far as professionally, I really didn't want to play professionally until the end of my junior year, going into my senior year. I had to sit down with my coach, and he was telling me that he thinks that I could do it. So, kind of took that leap of faith from there.
Okay, okay. And what kind of started like what made you say like basketball is what I want to do? What made you kind of go down that path?
I think it stems from you know that's all I knew for a long time. Playing since I was 4. My dad put a ball in my hand. Playing through middle school, through high school, eventually making it to college. I know my dad had a heavy influence on it as well. He played collegiate basketball and um, wanted the opportunity to play professionally. So that played a part into it, as well as me having the love for the game and
Mm.
just wanting to be around it. Um,
What is it about basketball that you love or made you fall in love with the game?
I love the way that basketball can bring people together
Mm.
uh, from all over, no matter where you're from, what you look like. I think it's a great way to bring people together. It's like its own language in a way. So
Okay.
you have people who maybe don't speak the same language, especially playing overseas. You got
Right,
people
right.
that have different cultures, different backgrounds, but everybody speaks that same language, and that language is basketball. So I like how it brings people together.
Okay. So for those who probably are interested, what position do you play?
Point guard, point guard.
Okay. You played point guard your whole life, or was you at the two guard position as well?
Um, Kind of been a combo. I've always been a point guard, but
Mhm.
just depending on who I'm playing with and our play styles, I can play off ball as well.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So during the time of you playing basketball from the young age, you said 4 years old, right?
mm.
What was probably like a big challenge that you had to deal with? Because right now, from what I see, like height wise would probably be a challenge that you would probably have to deal with. But what are some of the challenges that you dealt with?
I would definitely say height. It's a tall man's game for sure. Uh, being shorter or being smaller, you have to do a lot of the little things.
Hmm.
So um, you got to have a lot of heart. You got to have high confidence, and you really just got to have some dog in you, man. You gotta go get it. Like, you can't be afraid. Can't duck no smoke. You just gotta go get it. So,
Okay, I like
so
that.
yeah,
Nice. It's a from what I've always been told, it's about confidence. Confidence
confidence.
is real key.
Yeah, confidence is the key. Can't do nothing without confidence, man.
Oh,
So
thank. So what kind of walk people through you in college, you playing in college. Kind of walk us through like what was that what how did you like actually like that whole process of you going from college playing in college to actually being going to your first team overseas, kind of like, what you did to get there, the steps and all that.
yeah, so in the middle of my senior year, uh, I had uh, I had a person that runs some overseas camps, and
Mm,
for those of y'all who don't know, overseas camps are places where you get collegiate players or high school players or people of high talent or who are really good at the game. You get them together. You have different scouts from different teams, maybe some of the coaches, and those games and scrimmages and practices are filmed. And based off of that, they'll rank you by position or by your ranking throughout the whole camp. And you have the opportunity to hear back from those coaches if they take interest in you. So for me, my senior year, like I said, I was playing the middle of the year, and I graduated in 21. So
Mm-hmm.
the NCAA granted everybody a COVID year. So in the middle of the season, he reached out to me, and he was like, "Hey, are you thinking about going pro?" I was like, at that point, I wasn't all the way sure what I wanted to do.
mm,
Um, I was considering coming back for my fifth year, and I was like, "Man, I'm gonna just finish the season out." So I kind of had that at the back of my mind throughout the whole season. And at the end of the year, you have your exit meetings with your coach,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "So what do you want to do?" And honestly, in my mind, I was like, "Shoot, it's another free year of school, get my master's,
Right.
um, and still be around my friends and play the game." He was like, "Man, do the same thing here. You don't got no schoolwork, and you get paid for it, so you might as well just go ahead and go." So I ended up going to some of those camps, and I did well, and that's how I got to my um, that's how I got my first job overseas.
And how long was it from camp to like how long would you say that took from you to get from like college to camp, well, senior year camp, and then your first team?
So the season ended for us. We got put out in the first round uh, of the playoffs. So after that game, maybe like a week and a half, 2 weeks later, I had that camp. Um, so I went to that camp maybe two, 3 weeks later. I got a call.
mm.
asking if I was available to go play. Make sure I had my passport and everything together. Um, then they ship you off. So,
So I got a question for you. Let's take a little step back.
all right.
So high school wise,
Yep.
like playing throughout high school, all 4 years, right? What was the college recruitment like? Was you receiving a lot of offers? And what was your expectations going into it? How did that play a part on you mentally going into your college years?
Honestly, man, I really didn't get an offer. I didn't get anything till my senior year.
Really?
Um, I played I played varsity all 4 years
Hmm.
as a freshman. I got minutes here and there. Um, didn't start really until like mid beginning of sophomore year.
Hmm.
Um, but confidence wise, my confidence always been high. I played with and against a lot of high level people. Just to name a few, I played with James Wiseman, who was a number two
Hmm.
pick. I've played against Darius Garland, who's with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Uh, and there's a bunch of other players that are from the Nashville area that have played overseas. So, my confidence is high. I've always felt like, the work I put in will pay off. So, um, just trying to run my own race and, keep my head down and just do what I got to do. But you always got to have confidence in yourself,
Hmm.
um, no matter who you're playing against or whatever odds are stacked against you. So just controlling what you can control.
Okay. Okay. So now going into your years into your college career, your collegiate career, how difficult did those times of, because I have friends that played football and basketball in college, and they all say that you're not really a student athlete, you're an athletic student. It's all about the sport before the academics. Is that one, is that true? And two, like, how was that whole process for you? Like, especially when it comes to dealing with the academic side and possibly your parents talking to you about that.
Well, I think it depends. Kind of got to experience both ways, being a student athlete and a athlete student.
Mm-hmm.
My freshman year in Lindenwood, I was more of a athlete student. Um, so school wasn't really pushed as hard.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like a lot of times, like you have to study. Coach be like, "Nah, you need to get shots up." So I understand it's a business. So the coaches they have to feed their families. You have that going on. But going to my second school, Trevecca,
Mm-hmm.
which was also a Christian school by the way. So they preached Christian scholar athlete in that
Mm-hmm.
order. So
Mm,
I always try, keep God first in everything you do. Try to give him the glory because without him, you don't have anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then scholar, like if you don't have your grades, NCAA, if you don't have a 2.9, you can't even play.
Mm.
So,
mm,
uh,
Okay.
or minimum, he wanted everybody to have a 3.0. So he really preached, getting your grades because at some point that basketball is going to stop bouncing.
right.
So you want to have something to fall back on. And athletically, we didn't have the best record. I'll just be honest. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. We didn't have the best record, but it was fun. Got a lot of experiences. We played a lot of D1s, played some high level D2s,
Mm-hmm.
and damn near a D1. Like we flew everywhere. You get gear. We sponsored by Adidas. You get multiple shoes, clothes, bags, stuff. So you got your college experience. But personally, I can honestly say I appreciate my coach, Coach O, for putting me through that because I think that helped me become the person I am today.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me? No, I was listening. I was listening.
Well,
I was listening.
so now that you transition from your college career to your overseas career,
Hmm.
explain that process because a lot of us don't really know that process and how tedious that can be and how mentally draining it can be as well.
And I would say the biggest thing is you have to really take charge of everything. Like you're not going to have somebody following you around telling you, "Hey, you need to go to the gym. You need to work out. You need to build these relationships with your coaches and teammates and owners and stuff like that." So really, it's the whatever you make of it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the transition is hard and it can be very stressful. Some of the rules are different.
Right.
So like overseas, just putting the ball down before you take that step, like that's a travel over there. If the ball's on the rim, you can hit it off. Like it's a lot more physical. The spacing's different. It's a different basketball.
Wait a
Um,
minute. Time out. You said
yeah,
the
if
ball
it's on the
still on
rim,
the cylinder.
yeah,
You can still hit that joint up. No goaltend.
yeah,
That's insane.
yeah.
That's insane.
You can't call timeout as a player. You can't catch the ball backcourt. Like if you're on the side, like when you they're taking about about
Mm-hmm.
half court line, you can't go back and catch it.
That's
You
crazy.
got to stay on that side.
Yeah,
So
that's definitely different.
it's night and day, bro. But the fans crazy.
Mm.
Fans are crazy, bro. Like,
What's one of the craziest experiences?
man, wait, say it again.
I was
My bad. That threw me off. You got it.
it. Nah, I was saying, what would you say is one of the craziest experiences you've had with a fan, or like the craziest thing you experienced with fans?
Um, man, we're playing in Bosnia. Well, I'm playing in Bosnia, and this is the finals. So this is the third game, and we're on the road. So we get off the bus. All the fans are crazy. They got these lighters and stuff in the air. Got these drums. Got these horns. They're playing. It's really like think of college atmosphere, like college football
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
times 10, because you're right there on the court.
Mm-hmm.
So they're making all this noise. People in there smoking cigarettes. People throwing stuff on the court. Like they talking to you. Me, I didn't really know what they were saying, but I
So you
I
just
know I
ignoring
know it wasn't
them.
good. So um, you really got to be locked in, man. Like it can be stressful, if you're not used to that environment, if you're not used to that pressure. Being an American over there, they bring you over there to dominate,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and so you have a bad game, they'll pull you aside, they'd be like, "Hey, Darren, like you normally average 16, you had 12 today. You okay? Everything all right? Something going on back at home?" But no, I'm good. Okay, cool. Just making sure.
No.
So like you're easily replaceable, but like I said, if you're a good teammate, you work hard, and consistency is key.
Mm-hmm.
Just take it day by day. You'll be fine. I think it's important mentally though, as far as just having that space where you can kind of relax, take a deep breath, whether that's through reading, whether that's through making calls back home, video games. A lot of my teammates like to go for coffee, so we go for coffee and play pool. So just having different escapes to take your mind off the sport. Um, it can be stressful. It's a different stress than college though, because college, you still have your grades. Over there. It's like, man, do whatever you want. Like as long as you show up for practice, you do what you're supposed to do,
Mm-hmm.
and you're producing during games. We don't care what you do. So it's a lot more freedom with that.
Okay. So, question: how did basketball, the business side of it, affect you mentally, and also how did it affect your relationship with your family?
Mentally, it makes you think of the game a little different. So it's like, okay, I know going into this season, I'm trying to go somewhere else and play, get a bigger contract. So I'm putting pressure on myself not only to win, but to score and to
Mm-hmm.
do X, Y, and Z or whatever. And the science behind it is the lower levels you're in, you want to have higher stats. The higher level you're in, you want to have good stats, but the main important thing is winning.
Mm-hmm.
So if you win, it's like, okay, this player's on winning teams,
Mm-hmm.
so we want him on our team. He can produce for us.
Okay.
So that's that's how it was broken down to me.
Mm-hmm.
But the business side of that, it's like as far as pay, like you may not get paid on the right day. So like you're supposed to get paid on Tuesday. It might be another week. Like, hey man, like I didn't get paid Tuesday. What's going on? We
Mm-hmm.
got you next week. And you still expected to practice and stuff. Now,
Mm-hmm.
granted, you have some players who are like, man, you didn't pay me, so I'm not practicing. I'm not playing, and that
Mm-hmm.
does happen. And you kind of force, the owners and management to get that done. But for the most part, man, like it can be very stressful. It can take the fun out of the game sometimes. but that's what you have agents for. If you're if you're able to get one. Uh, my rookie year, I did not have one, so a lot of that stuff I had to figure out on my own and kind of just deal with. But yeah, man, it can definitely suck the life out of the game for sure. If you're too focused on that.
Right.
Uh,
I want to ask, what outside of the court, what is life like for you, especially being overseas? Have you like ever been overseas before? You know, things of that nature. What was life like?
Man, it was a movie. You know, like how Darren was showing all 32 at the beginning of the show. That's how it was. So like,
And keep
uh,
showing.
as you should, man. But just being able to experience something that nobody in my family's experienced, that in of itself was cool. Seeing the different cultures, certain places you walk in, it's like, man, we've never seen a black person before, so
Right,
they look at you like a superstar. Like it's cool. It can be overwhelming if you don't go into it with an open mind.
Hmm.
Because like I said, it's like a whole different world, man. Like the way people treat you, the food. You may not see anybody that looks like you. Um, just the customs they have. It's different. Um,
what's some differences between being overseas and, well, first, where all did you play overseas? I know you
Played in
mentioned.
Armenia and Bosnia are my two countries that I
Okay,
played in. Uh, I would say Armenia, the difference there, um, it's not as modern. Musically, it's a little different. Well, everywhere is different, like music wise. But obviously you have the language barrier that's different. I feel that people are a little more friendly and more willing to help, and they're curious about your culture.
right,
Um,
Mm.
so and they can be ignorant about some things, not because like they're racist or they don't care. It's just they honestly don't know. So like you might have somebody be like, "Hey man, are you from Africa?" Like, nah, man, I'm from the states.
That is you from Africa.
Okay, or like they'll grab my hair, be like, "Oh, is this real?" Like, yes, my hair. How you get it to be like that? It's just being black, bro. Like you can do that, but um, yeah, it's different in that sense. I think people are a lot more friendly, a lot more open to learning about your culture. It's a little more closed off here. People are to themselves. They're more family oriented over there, I feel.
mm,
So my coach in Bosnia, my first coach in Bosnia, I played for two teams, but my first coach in Bosnia, he had me come to his house. I had dinner with his family, met his wife, met his kids, and they treated me like family. So I mean, they're definitely inviting over there,
Mm.
from my experience.
That's good. That's good. So, as far as off the court wise, with all that going on, you overseas, you living your life, you playing basketball and everything, but still on the state side, you got your family.
Hmm.
How did that separation from your family affect you during that time? Like, especially your first time around, and how did that just affect your relationship?
I'll go with the relationship at first. I think it definitely strengthened it.
Mm.
Um, you know, not being around to have those experiences, different events that I'm missing. Uh, it makes you appreciate them a lot more while they're here.
Hmm.
Um, but also having, things like FaceTime. Over there, we used WhatsApp a lot, and where you can get that visual connection. Still, I think
Hmm.
that helps a lot.
Okay.
Um, and you can kind of still feel that love and support. Uh, being away the first time, I'll be honest, that first month I was just so excited about it, like it didn't bother me. But over time you tend to miss your family. You miss things that you wouldn't really think about every day. Like
Hmm.
if I wanted to get a haircut, uh, I don't know how they cut hair out here. Like
I,
I
I
need I need to
just now
see
thinking about that,
I
like,
need to see some Instagram
mm,
videos or something. So just seeing that, uh, and really taking the time to take everything in, I think was big for me. It can be straining,
mhm,
very straining, but I feel like being repetitive with it, but you really just got to have an open mind. If you have an open mind, it makes things go by a lot quicker. It's a lot easier, and it makes the experience a lot more fun.
So let me ask you this. So when you say open mind, what does that look like for you? What did in that situation or that experience, what did having an open mind look like for you? Like what was ways that you knew like, okay, this is I'm gonna do this because this is me having an open mind. Kind of give some.
Just try not to be closed off. So if, for instance, if my teammates are like, "Hey, Monty, like we're going to get coffee, play pool, and maybe go watch a movie," instead of being like, "Nah, I kind of just want to stay in the room, be to myself. I'll play video games. I'll catch y'all tomorrow." Like, yeah, I'll do it. And I'm not even a coffee drinker, and they
Right,
huge
right.
on coffee. So like, if I go drink coffee with them, go play pool, they'll tell you about their families. You might meet some of their friends and stuff. You make connections,
Mm,
which I think is big. Because it can be really scary being over there by yourself, especially if you're in a situation where you're the only American or the only black person. So
right.
it's good to have uh, a group of people you can connect with,
Mhm.
and plus it's cool. You're able to learn more about yourself, learn about things you like, what you don't like, and I think it helps you to navigate through the season too. Just having that support.
Mm, mm,
Okay, so let's take a different spin on things real quick. So you said that your dad put the ball in your hand
Hmm.
at a very young age. My father, he played basketball at Temple University. Then had the opportunity to be able to go play overseas.
Hmm.
I didn't either, but I still always have the love for the game of basketball,
Yeah.
even to this day.
Hmm.
So when it came to you playing basketball and your dad put that ball in your hand, do you feel like that was a pressure for you to play basketball? Do you think that that was just like you taking that trajectory yourself, or was that him be like, "Yo, I ain't get to do it, so I want you to do it"?
I mean, I think it was a mixture of both. I'll be honest. Me and him had like a love hate relationship. Like he
Mm.
was pissed me off all the time.
I know
Like
that feeling.
man used to be like, man, see, you don't do this. You see such and such, he's doing that. Why don't you do that? Like, man, I'm not him. Like, I
Mm.
can't do that. But at the same time, it was something I internally I did. I love the game, something I want to do.
Hmm.
So I had to put in the work. But also having him push me and being hard on me, um, kind of got to read between the lines. Especially like a father's his job is supposed to be hard on you. He's
Hmm.
supposed to push you. So just knowing that it's coming from a good place. I think that's one thing that I did really well. Just knowing it's coming from a good place, even though I may not like how it sounds.
Hmm.
Just taking that for what it is, and knowing that he just wants the best for me. But
Did you always understand that, or did you?
absolutely not, absolutely not. I actually stopped playing. Uh, had one tournament, and my dad's like real repetitive with
Mm,
stuff. So like he'll say the same thing over and over and over. And I played AAU, so I'm talking we talking hour car rides.
mm-hmm.
My mom tried to turn the music on, he turned it right back down. Like, man, you didn't make this play correct. You didn't do this. But yeah, man, he did that. I was like, I don't even want to play no more. So we had to sit down, talk, and he explained, like I love you, I'm proud of you. I just want you to be better than what I was. Once I heard that, it was like it was just up from there. But
Mm,
but it was definitely pressure from him, you know. Somebody I look up to, somebody I love dearly. It's like my best friend. Um, so obviously, I want to make him proud and accomplish something that he wants done as well. But I think it was something that I wanted to.
mm.
So you
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 want
good?
to?
Um, so explain that expectation that you feel like that you possibly had when it came to your dad saying, "Hey, I want you to be better than me," because I wanted to be better than my dad, and that my dad ain't say nothing to me about that. I just wanted to be better than him. And how did that expectation possibly?
See, I'm real humble in a sense. Like growing up, my dad had the state record for most threes in the game,
Hmm.
um, which is broken now. But growing up, all his friends and stuff that played, they're coaches now. Like, man, you good like your dad? Can you beat your dad? Like your dad this, your dad that. Like I used to get tired of hearing that.
Hmm.
So as a kid, I was real laid back to myself, kind of shy. So be like, "Can you beat your dad?" I like shake my head, yeah. Like, man, you don't look like you confident with that. Um, but it was like once I hit a certain age and I was around, I played up some too.
Hmm.
So just being around high level competition and seeing that you're able to do that, it's like okay, I can do this. And then like you talk back to those same people. Your dad wasn't doing that at this age. Well, okay, cool. So then your confidence builds over time.
Hmm.
But yeah, the expectation of him wanting me to be better, uh, I always feel that the expectation on myself is always gonna outweigh his.
Mm,
Just because, like I said, I want that. Like I like hearing personally, I did something that you haven't done,
mm,
and I know that makes him proud. Because as a parent, and even as an older brother, I have two younger brothers. You want those coming behind you to do better than what you did.
Hmm.
So
mhm.
um, I think that makes it fun. Just thinking of it that way.
You think you can beat your dad right now?
I know I can. Ain't no question.
What do you
My
think?
dad gonna
So,
need them knee braces.
I'm gonna have to have a video record of y'all playing 1-on-1.
Man,
I gotta see that.
you don't want that. You need them copper fits. Put them on them knees.
Not the copper fit.
Yeah, man.
I'm dead.
They work though. I ain't even gonna cap. I use them too. They work. They
I'm gonna
get
have
they
to
get you there. They get
snatch
you
them
right.
up myself then.
Yeah, yeah.
let me ask you, did you ever see, was there ever, did you ever see a version of you not going down, like not playing basketball, or like was there something else that you wanted to do, or was basketball the only thing?
Um, I have a degree in criminal justice,
Mm,
which is funny. You said dad having expectations. He had a degree in business, but my dad was a police officer. Then he did undercover police work, and now he's a court officer downtown. So um, I feel like, in a sense, I was kind of following those footsteps. But I really love the criminal justice field. Like I love crime shows. I love investigation, CSI type stuff.
mm,
So I guess it's kind of just ironic that he happened to be in that field, and that's something that I like to do as well. But um, I could see myself being. I wanted to be an FBI agent, or um, in Nashville or Tennessee, we have the TBI, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation,
mm,
and I kind of want to be an agent. Investigate stuff, not necessarily the CSI, but being those agents, make sure the scene is clear, trying to get information, maybe ask civilians what is going on or how
Mhm.
did this happen, what you see. Definitely didn't want to be behind the desk, but um, yeah, things took a turn.
mm,
So there's a question from earlier because you had spoke about like taking care of yourself mentally, like when it came to being overseas and stuff like that. Speak on that. Like, how did you personally deal with taking care of yourself mentally, especially having to be overseas? You're not around your family. Like, you really can't speak to really people like that. Like, even some of your teammates probably of the culture out there. That so it's like, how did you really deal with the stress?
Um, I'm big on movies, so I will watch movies, specifically action, things like that, where it's a lot going on, cause you to really focus in on what's going on. A lot of moving parts. I think words are very powerful. So, just speaking life into things. My mom always says, speak things into existence.
mm,
So, if you speak positive, positive's going to happen. If you speak negative, negative can happen. So I think that's important to do. So like I'll go in the bathroom as I'm brushing my teeth. Money, you look strong. You look tall today. They
Not
might
you
they
look
might
tall today.
they might announce you as 6'1" today. Like just silly stuff. And that sounds silly, but
Mm,
you do that over time. It's like your confidence is gonna build up because
right.
that's all you're hearing. So I think that's big on mental health. I think putting yourself in peaceful situations. So like sometimes I go on hikes. Like you try new restaurants where it has a good view. And you just sit back and think. Journaling is big. Just getting your thoughts out on paper and meditation. Just different things. Everybody does things differently. Everybody kind of has what makes them tick. So, um, you know, especially being overseas, you have a lot of free time. So just finding that time to learn about yourself,
mm.
I think is important.
What are some things what are some things you would say you learned about yourself while being overseas?
I would say I learned that it is easy for me to adapt and communicate with different people. Um, I found out that I can, when I enter a room, I can be quiet and laid back, but it's easy for people to talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
So making those connections,
Mm-hmm.
making friends has always been easy for me. I learned that about myself. I learned that I actually get irritated pretty easy. So
Don't seem like it.
e- exactly, and that's part of working on it. When you learn those things, you try to find ways to cope with it. So for me, it might be joking. It might be, like I said before, watching movies.
Mm.
Um, Sometimes going on a walk. Like I know I would go on walks with my mom. Sometimes we just talk. Just being able to talk or just getting out the house instead of just being in one area,
Mhm.
that can help. So just finding little things like that.
So you had said that joking is one of the ways that you kind of like never little outlet. So
I'm
that's
a
what.
I'm a I
Uh,
don't okay. So like when I be joking with you, I don't be irritated.
mm,
I don't be irritated when I'm joking with you.
mm.
That joking is like
Notice
how
how
I
you made
communicate.
this about him.
That's how I
What
communicate.
y'all don't know is that all three of us or all four of us, because even they dog that's in the background, like we all work together. So
Mhm.
like we be there having fun, like enjoying our time,
I ain't gonna lie, you do be pushing buttons sometimes.
joking.
Let me give y'all like
Oh my god.
a background. So I'll be sitting in the room, right? I'll be on my phone, or I might be looking at something. Here he come tiptoeing, tap me, money. Like what? Nothing. I just want to say what's up.
And
And he'll do that like three,
he
four
know
times a
he
day.
be getting on people nerve.
You
They
know he
get
do.
mad. They get mad. Oh, why y'all so mean to
Nah,
me?
You
nah,
know he
nah,
do.
Why y'all so mean to me?
Right.
nah,
Like,
nah.
come on, man.
This,
Y'all always
listen,
mean.
it ain't even like
Why
that.
y'all
First
hate
off,
me?
they be messing with me. They started first, so therefore I'm petty. I gotta get my get back. So once I get the opportunity to get my get back, I'm gonna do it. It might not be that day. It's gonna be the next day or a
You
couple days
know,
later.
I seen this book that I've been wanting to read, but I don't think I need to read it. I think you need to read it. It's called Let That Shit Go.
Man.
Nah, nah, I ain't letting it go. I'm
Let that
petty.
shit go.
Nah, well, stop messing with me, man. Stop fucking with me, because otherwise, y'all gonna see me get it back. I'm just not getting it back in blood.
So I know let's change change direction of the conversation a little bit, a little more lighthearted. So y'all two, y'all play in a league together,
Ah, don't
and I
mention
know
this.
you said,
Don't mention
I,
this.
I know you said, meeting you and stuff like that, you had kind of lost the love for the game, after everything. And, with this being, basically what I'm getting at is now that you were basically kind of well, you not basically, you are starting a new chapter of your life, finding figuring out where you want to go and what you want to do. And then also now incorporating basketball back into your life. How do you feel about that? Kind of what is this season for Imani?
It's bittersweet, man. Just trying something new. Um, since I've done basketball for so long throughout my life. It's exciting. It's exciting. You know, even during our games, I miss it. It's something I love. It's something I grew up um, doing, and it's a part of me. It'll forever be a part of me. I'll always have love for the game. But as far as um, in that career, I think it was time for me to change. I think it was time for me to just see what else I have in store for myself.
Mm.
Uh, I think it's been a challenge um, in this career change. It's something different. Never expected myself to be dealing with aviation or anything like that. Um, Honestly, I didn't even know what some of the stuff was. Like when I heard an air traffic controller, I thought it was the people like when you look out the window playing with the cones, like telling people
Mhm.
come on. But
I can see that. I can see that.
yeah, but I like it. It's a challenge and uh, it's fun. I'm enjoying the process.
I just realized. So let's back up. What led you to? I don't know if you did speak on that, but what led you to making the decision to put the ball down
Um,
professionally?
Conversation with my dad.
Mm.
Well, let me give you a background. So my mom, don't get me wrong, proud of me, loves watching me play, but she could care less about sports, bro. Like if you ain't had them schools or education, man, you're not doing nothing. So she would always have those conversations like, hey, like I know you playing right now, but what you want to do after this? So she kind of planted that seed, and
Shout out to mom.
shout out to moms always. But dad as well. Dad he sent me a link to FAA. He said it's a job that he looked at when he was a little younger, but never really got into it. Thought I'd be interested in it. Sent it to me. Mom in my ear talking. Dad's talking about this. I'm like, man, let me just apply. So they just stopped talking. Applied. Ended up getting an email back saying, hey, you qualified. Here's a test. Okay, cool. Take the test. You pass the test. Now, you got to do all your background stuff, and then you can start. And I remember one day just looking at like what they would make. It's like, bro, I'm set. I'm set if you get through that. So, um, I ended up looking at the money and just also being closer to home. I'm 26. I'm still young, but thinking about starting a family, it'd be easier to start a family here. Uh, my brothers are getting older. They're in high school, getting ready for college. I'm in the near future, so being a part of that process and watching them play. Uh, so it's a lot that went into that decision.
Mhm.
Um, but I can say that I'm happy with it. I've accepted it. I don't have any regrets. I would do it over again, but I do have my moments where I miss playing.
Mhm. What would you, if you was to do it over, what would you do differently?
As far as making that decision, or as far as like
Your
basketball,
career, yeah, your career.
my career, um, I feel that I would have been a little more selfish.
Mm.
Selfish in the sense of when I was playing, I would have opportunities where I could do something and it would help me or make me look a little better, but I would defer a lot.
Mm.
So, like I said, I played with and against some high level players, and in some of those moments, I'd have the opportunity to do it, but I would defer to them when sometimes maybe the best option is for me to do it. So, I think in some of those situations, I would have been more selfish. I maybe would have been a little more vocal about things, but
Was
uh,
that, so let me ask, was that a conscious decision in that moment? So like, let's say I'm not, especially not basketball, but let's say you catch the rebound
mhm.
and you running down, it's just you and your teammate, y'all down the court. How I've visualized that is instead of you going and taking a shot, you pass the ball to your teammate and let them score the shot after the rebound.
Yeah, like
So it's
for
go ahead, go
my
ahead.
bad. For an example, like if I'm driving, got a wide open layup, or somebody coming, I see somebody over there. Like, okay, let me pass it to him. Like, man, get the easy 2 points. Like
So
just
what, not to cut you off,
oh
so
yeah.
with that example, right,
Mm-hmm.
in your mind, what made you why not take the shot? What made you like, what was there something like in your head saying like, nah, was it like you trying not to outshine other people? Was it like, or was it just really just you just being a team player and there was no thought behind it?
I mean, I honestly feel it was being a team player, but I think there were moments where I was too much of a team player.
Mm.
So and Darren shaking his head because I know sometimes when we play, I just be passing to get everybody involved instead of just scoring. He like,
I'm
man,
like, bro, go for 30.
like go for 30, which I can, but it's like I'm out here having fun. But yeah, I think that's something I would definitely redo. Just attempt to be more aggressive in everything. Like it's good to have friends, but you still got to take care of number one too. So
Mm.
I think I'll prioritize myself a little more than
Mm.
I did. But other than that, man,
Let me ask you this. Do you feel like off the court, would you say you would prioritize others before yourself?
yeah,
Or
um, I would. I definitely prioritize like my friendships and stuff. However, like if I didn't want to do something or something I didn't want to do, nobody was gonna make me
of
do it.
course,
So
yeah.
you
Of
know what I
course.
mean. But yeah, I think off the course a little different. Uh, I think it's okay to be that way off the court. Basketball, you gotta think about it. We're a team, but everybody can't play collegiate basketball, so you're still competing. So if you want it, you got to go get it. You got to make stuff happen. Now,
Right.
granted, it's a team sport. You don't want to just overwhelm everybody by just doing extra stuff, but uh, you definitely have to leave your mark and be noticed out there.
Mm.
So, so yeah,
Okay. So different question then.
different
So
answer.
see, that's what I'm talking about, bro.
Oh, watch.
I mess with you,
Wait till
man.
next week, back for it.
Right.
For sure.
And we got the
Actually,
video
not even
proof.
next week, probably tomorrow.
Look,
Crazy.
he say I got the video proof of you fucking with me. This
Hmm.
is why I did
Insane.
what I did.
Yep,
Insane.
yep. Always gotta have proof, evidence all the time. But nah. So my question is, if you can give advice to anybody that is in your shoes, even your little brothers, like how would you, or what advice would you give them? What would you tell them?
Uh, man, control what you can control. Like if you can't let your situations that you're in determine who you are,
Mhm.
Mm,
and that's in life. If you want something, um, go get it. Like other people can do it, why not you? So I mean, take it day by day, be where your feet are. Enjoy the moment. But if you got a goal, like you got to work to do it, because it's always somebody else down the street on the other side of the world, even that's working hard to try to get what you want. So just keep your head down, work hard, and have fun doing it, and fall in love with the process. Like
mm-hmm,
like I think a lot of times we're looking at goals and we're like, man, I got to get to this goal, but the process of getting there. I think if you fall in love with the process, then once you get to your goal, you're gonna continue to work hard, and then you can just strive for other things as well.
mm,
So
Okay.
okay.
yeah, man.
So let me ask this: out of what would you say is the best defining moment of your career? Like that one moment that's like you will cherish forever or experience.
I got two. Um, I would say signing my first contract
Mm,
was really cool. Um, just thinking back to when I first started, having like a little Tykes goal on the inside to now I'm doing it. You got people paying me to do it, paying me to play, watching me play, want to take pictures and stuff. It's like a dream come true. So I think that's something I'll never forget. I'll always cherish that, and nobody can take that away from me.
right,
And
right.
another moment I would say is probably making the All Star, making being an All Star my
Mm,
my rookie year. That whole experience was cool. Just being around other Americans, getting to know each other while competing. It was just a fun experience
mm.
Mm.
and stuff. So that was cool.
Okay. All right. So let me give you the power. What questions do you want to ask us?
Okay, since we're talking about, or we've been talking about mental health, and how being away from family or being away from just out of your comfort zone
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and certain things. What do you think is more effective when trying to deal with that, to be like on your own, where you do a lot of self reflecting and you do a lot of, you know, uh, you just have time to yourself to kind of figure out how to navigate through things? Or do you think it's important to, be around other people who can, one, acknowledge that, you're going through those things, and two, help you to, get through those problems, or maybe to, ease the stress off of you?
So that's kind of a little bit of a loaded question because one, everybody's different. Like it's hard to try to say like with certain people. Like for me personally, I like to do both. Like I need to be around people who understand me, that know the type person I am, know my character, and that's able to uplift me. But then there's also times where a person needs to sit off to the side and actually reflect on what's going on,
Mhm.
reflect on how things have been, how you've been showing up recently to people, how you've been showing up for yourself, and what's all just happening around you. You got to take in full scope of things. Like sometimes people be too focused on moving forward, moving forward, moving forward. You might need to stop, take a couple steps back, and look at everything. Because if you don't take the opportunity to observe everything that's going on around you, you're not really going to be able to sit down and really focus on your mental and really address what's going on.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah,
I said the answer to that is both, and that's for everybody. Too much of anything is bad. So the thing about it is everybody needs both. There's nobody that is one way or the other. It's a part of life. It's the duality of life. The thing about it is, it's just recognizing where you are at and what season you're in. This may be a season where it's like you may need to spend a little more time with yourself than you are with other people.
Yeah.
It may be a time where you need to spend a little more time with people than, it's just it just really is just really I feel like what it boils down to is like just really taking that moment to yourself and realizing what do I need? Like, hey, shit, I've been by myself for the past 3 months. I really, really would love to like be around some people and da 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 da. Or you know what? I'm always constantly out. I never really have time to, think about or really process anything. I'm constantly always around people. I'm constantly always talking.
Yeah.
Sometimes you may just need a day to yourself. It may not be a week or that you just may need one day to yourself and get back to, the regular scheduled programming. But um yeah, I would definitely say both. It's just a matter of just listening to your body, listening to your heart, listening to your like paying attention to yourself and then figuring out and going from there.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool.
you got another question? Or that's the only one that you had in the chamber?
You want a real question? I got
Yeah,
another question. You might not
ask
like
a
it though.
real question.
The way he said you might not like it, I'm sure.
Hey,
I don't
listen.
know if I'm
Do
next
no,
then.
no.
Nah, I ain't got no. I
Whatever
ain't got no
question
other
you want to
questions.
ask. Go ahead.
I don't have another question, man. Actually, no, I do. So, like, what's your like lifting regimen? I see. If you see it, I see. That them sleeves a little tight around
Man, my
your
arms always
muscles
like that.
poking. Yeah,
My arms is always like
Just
this.
like that. Or
genetics.
Honestly, like if I show you pictures of me, like you look at, I had lanky arms, but then
Okay,
it's like no matter what, my arms just always husky. They they
husky.
just are. I got
Nate,
a
you
gut
you ever
though,
heard
like they
you
big.
you ever heard somebody call their arms husky?
Yeah, bro.
I
Like what you want to say? Are they big?
mean, better than husky.
Fuck out here. This man
I'm
out of here.
dead. So I wanted to ask you, do you feel like playing at a pro level or a high level, being a high level performer, do you feel that people can forget that you're a person?
100%, 100%. You talking about like the average fan or like
Just
just
all
people in
around,
general?
all
I
around.
mean, yeah, because you have people when they're watching you play, that's all they see. So that's all they know you as. Like
Hmm.
they don't think about, oh, before the game I had this happen and it's really bothering me, but I have to
Hmm.
put that aside and do my job. Like I think people sometimes forget athletes are people. Imagine if you go to work and you got somebody just
Right,
heckling you and talking to you crazy at work. You're gonna be ready to fight. Just it's the same with us. Like that's our job. That's our line of work.
right,
You're paying to come watch us work. So
right, right.
I think people kind of just lose sight of that, and it's a respect thing too. Like you want somebody to respect you if you're at an office. Like if you're answering calls and somebody's just going off on you, you're not finna help them. So it's like why are you gonna talk crazy to me and then expect me to take a picture with you? Like you know what I mean?
Right.
Like don't get me wrong. I think that's part of the game.
Hmm.
You're gonna want to heckle. You want to cheer for your team, but I think there's a certain line that sometimes get crossed,
Hmm.
and when that happens, you're liable to have an athlete crash out or just do something that anybody would do.
Right.
So
I had asked that because I think that is, especially in, like, even with sports now, a lot of the players they get ridiculed for, the things that they do and like even their life outside of the court. It's like I think people seem to forget. Like you said, you're 25, so you was playing with 21, 22, 23, 24. So it's like your life is just getting started and it's kind of like they expect you to be this pro player and it's like, well, you still have a life,
yeah,
you still like
right,
you still growing up.
right,
And so I feel like we kind of lose the art of the fact that we are all still regular human beings with our own journeys and experiences, which is why I wanted to ask that, kind of put that out there. But
yeah.
on a lighter note, who would y'all say y'all top five NBA players are
Currently, or you talking about like,
overall a lot of time current? Yeah, overall a lot of time. Give me your top five.
oh, okay,
You can give me yours too.
I'll go Jordan,
Mm,
Bron,
mm.
You better say
give
his name.
me
I know you're thinking the same name I'm thinking. Cause
You better say his name.
who?
Go ahead. I'm waiting here. You better say his name. You better put respect on that man name.
wait,
Jordan, Bron,
how could you not say his name?
Kobe.
Oh, okay.
That's not what I was saying.
Oh, that's what I was talking
Yeah.
about.
But that's somebody who you gotta put respect on too.
Yeah, you can't mix in basketball.
I
Like
throw
honestly,
I throw Shaq in there.
Jesus Christ.
that's who you was thinking.
Ow.
No, it ain't who he's thinking. I'm trolling a
God.
little bit too. And then
Y'all said what the fuck?
and give me
And give me ooh.
Larry Bird.
Yeah, all right, all right. This man about to get kicked in his chin. It's about to get kicked in his chin, man. You pissing me off.
Where you
You
go? What's
pissing
your
me
top
off,
five?
man. He should have had started off staying Steph
I
Curry.
knew he was finna say that. I knew he was
Stephen
finna say
Curry. Wardell Stephen Curry. He's
Be
top five.
honest, I'm not a big sports player. I mean, I don't watch sports like that, but I don't. I could be wrong. I just don't feel like Steph Curry has built that legacy like some of these other players that you.
he's definitely built a legacy,
I mean, he built the
but
legacy, but I just feel like
he's changed the game, like the way we play now.
mm,
As far as everybody shooting threes, like pulling up from half court. That's from him. Now, granted, there's other people who I think played a part too. I think James Harden is big in this generation as
mm,
far as dribbling, ball handling. Everybody wants to do step backs. He was doing that. Drawing fouls. He was doing that first.
mm.
Well, I'll say him and Kobe. Kobe was big on drawing fouls as well. So I mean,
Hmm.
I think. But who's your five? That's what I want to say. Who's your
Steph
So I
five?
Curry.
don't have a particular order on top five. God
Excuse me for trying to get comfortable.
damn. My elbow hurt for you.
It didn't hurt.
Jesus.
When you be in the
Uh,
gym every day.
is there a hold on?
Um,
Just might be. Goddamn strong ass.
No, that's you. If you did it, would have been definitely would
the whole
Hey,
building would have collapsed, Mr. Husky Arms.
I can't help
You
it.
know what? Never mind.
have. Y'all look at his arms.
I was just
He
thinking,
ain't even, he ain't even flexing.
the
Look at that.
bulldog
Go
from
ahead, zoom
Tom
in
and
on it.
Jerry.
No.
You know
No.
the dog. You know the bulldog from Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
Fuck
Oh, for that
you.
dog.
Fuck you. Uh,
Being up top.
You try to say that I'm
All right, what you got
uneven?
there for?
You try to say I'm uneven, bro?
I'm just saying, you said the top look husky, so then
I said my arms.
yeah.
I didn't say the top. All right. Both y'all can go to hell. Nah,
Steph.
but so my top five, I got Steph, I got Kobe, got Brian, got Jordan, and my last one I would probably say Shaq been in there. And if not Shaq, then I'll probably say Kareem.
Hmm, I respect that.
Hmm.
All right.
Top three teams of all time.
Warriors,
And you
the
could say the year
Bulls.
too. You could say like the year of the team.
72-9 Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
What is this? Was it 73-10 Warriors?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And then honestly, it's gonna sound crazy, but I like the old OKC team though. It had Russ, KD, James Harden, Serge
That
Ibaka,
I ain't gonna lie,
Pablo
that was a
Siakam.
hitter.
Yeah, they was Kendrick Perkins. They was loaded. It
Mm-hmm.
was a good team.
So
Or
we
or '09 Celtics. '09
nah,
Celtics.
nah, you
With,
tripping.
with, with Rondo, KG.
They was tough, but that they wasn't really like that. They wasn't stacked like that. They won one championship, and that was it. They didn't do nothing after that.
I mean, he's not talking about legacy. He's talking about just that one team. That team obviously changed.
All right, well,
Chicago, like Jordan led Chicago Bulls during his championship runs for this six peat. I ain't even gonna call it a three peat because he just took a slight little break, came right back. The Warriors and I'll say the either the Detroit Pistons. They was tough. They was hard. Like stop playing.
Well, it was a good
No
team,
day.
but of
And probably if not the Pistons, then no lie, I like the mellow led Nuggets, especially his
which year?
his rookie year when they took him to the playoffs was going crazy. Yeah, they was doing their thing.
And you think they beating the Celtics?
No, but those teams I
So at this point, it's not greatest. It's just favorites.
no those two is the Warriors and the Bulls like those two teams like yeah those the top greatest right there. But that
And
third one that's just like one of my favorites.
gotcha.
Yeah.
all right, all right. So let's close it. I want to close it out with one final question
Hmm.
for you to give to the people.
Mhm.
Let's say a young boy right now, he's watching, he has goals of wanting to become a pro basketball player. What is some advice you would give him?
Uh, Regardless of if you're playing a lot of minutes or you're playing a little minutes, the time you do get, just make the most out of it. Try to be a sponge. From your teammates, from your coaches. Um, Study a lot of film. Watch basketball. I think a lot of people don't actually watch it. You just see the highlights. Like you might go on Instagram, like, oh, this highlight's cool. Like actually watch it and then try to implement some of that stuff into your game. Um, but definitely, have fun doing it. At the end of the day, it's a sport. If you're not having fun, you putting all this extra stress on yourself, it's gonna be hard to succeed. So, like I said earlier, just fall in love with the process. If you really, really love the game and you really want to go somewhere and have that orange ball take you places and meet different peoples and put you in rooms. I mean, I think you just gotta go get it. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Well, that's all the time that we have for the day. Money, let them know where they can find you at on social media and who you are one more time.
Again,
Yeah, one more
you
time.
can
Let them
follow
know.
me on Instagram at I_STARLING5.
Okay. If you like this episode, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I am your host, JR.
And this your co-host Pat.
Make sure you check that description below to be able to click on that link and find our audio version of our podcast and the website down there. Make sure you tune in for our next episode.
See you next time.